Dear students, so today we will be discussing about the new chapter, that is problem solving technology. Problem solving methodology. Problem solving methodology. Okay, so this is the very important chapter for the before programming. Okay, so if you want to learn the programming language, so first we need to understand the concept of problem solving methodology. So if it is any problem, so how it can be solved, how it can be analyzed, and what are the inputs for that problem and what will be the output. So you have to study in detail in the problem solving methodology. In the problem solving methodology, there are some steps. So the first step is problem definition. Second one, problem analysis. Third one, algorithm and flowchart. Okay, so first one is problem definition, second one is problem analysis, third one is algorithm and flowchart, next is coding, fourth one, fifth one is testing. Fifth one is testing. The last one is the documentation. Okay, so there are six steps to solve the problem. So the first one is the problem definition. Okay, so here problem definition states that if it is any problem, so first we have to understand the problem thoroughly. So what actually the problem is there, so what we have to do for that, what we have to give the solution for that. So that indicates the problem definition, means we have to understand the problem thoroughly, what actually the problem is there, so what I have to do for this problem. So that is problem definition. Second one is problem analysis. So once we can understand the problem, so next we have to analyze the problem. So analysis the problem indicates what are the inputs you are giving to the system. So if I give some inputs, so after giving the input, what it will be happen in the computer. So after that, what will be the result. So you have to analyze all the things. Based on that, so you have to give the input to the system, that is nothing but the problem analysis. Third one is algorithm and flowchart. So here algorithm means it is a step by step procedure to solve the problem. So once understanding the problem, so after that you have to analyze the problem. After analyzing the problem, so you have to write some procedures for the given problem. That is nothing but the algorithm. It is the solution to the given problem, or it is a step by step instruction to solve the problem. For example, if you want to add the two numbers, if you want to add the two numbers, means first we know the numbers. So without knowing the number, it is not possible to add the numbers. For example, a plus b, c is equal to a plus b. So how it will be calculated? So if you know the value of a and b, then you will get the result of c. Otherwise, it is not possible to solve. So algorithm means it is a step-by-step procedure to solve the problem. If you consider any problem, it may be the mathematics, it may be the physics problem. Okay, so each problem has some instructions, each problem has some procedure. So step by step you have to solve the problem. Okay, so in the algorithm, so step one is always start. So here start indicates you are starting the particular algorithm. So algorithm means it is a step by step procedure to solve the problem. Step 2. In the step 2, once we can start the particular algorithm, so the next immediate step is you can enter the data. If you want to calculate a plus b means compulsory I can give the input of a as well as input of b. So that's why second step is inputting the data. That is input a comma b. See here. Here input is a one word. With the help of this we can enter the value. So why we have to write a and b? Because we are adding two numbers. That's why I can write a comma b. So here you can write any variable, any character. So it is not compulsory to write the a and b only. You can write x and y. You can write a b c comma x y z, or you can write value 1 comma value 2. So you can mention any character or characters. Okay. After inputting, the system will process the data, that the system will add your numbers. That's why we have to write the statement for it. How to write? C is equal to a plus b. So why we have to write C here? Because after adding a plus b, it must be stored in one character. So in the computer language, characters are called as variables. Why it will be called as a variable means always the value may change. C is equal to a plus b. For example, if I give the input as 10 and 20, 10 plus 20, 30 is stored in C. So it is stored in C, but it is not visible to the user. If you are giving the input to the system, but after that it should display the output to the user. For that purpose, we have to write the print. Finally, stop. See here. Step 1 is always start. Second one is first we have to identify the number of input. Here the example is sum of two numbers. So for that purpose, I have to take input a comma b. Next I have to write C is equal to a plus b. So after that we have to print. Why we have to print the C value means it is visible to the user. After calculating, the answer should be visible to the user. That's why we have to mention print of C. Finally, stop. Means it completes the first algorithm. For example, so if we consider another example, that is simple interest. So if you want to calculate the simple interest means here the number of inputs are 3, that is T comma R. That is principal amount, time and rate of interest. The formula is PTR divided by 100. So here the variables are 3, but here 100 is a constant value. We cannot give the input. It means that directly in the third step you have to mention the 100. So how to write this example? Again same procedure. First step is start. Second step is input P comma T comma R. In the third step, C is equal to or R is equal to, that is C is equal to PT R divided by 100. And one more thing you have to remember is whatever the variables you are mentioned here, only these variables can be used in the step 3, because whatever you can enter the data that can be stored in PTR. For example, I can enter 10,000, 2, 3. 10,000 is stored in P, 2 is stored in T, and 3 is stored in R. Suppose if you are, instead of writing PTR, if you mention the ABC means it is not a valid. It is an invalid, because your entered values are stored in PTR, but you are using the ABC. So whatever the variables are mentioned in the second step, the same variables can be used in the third step. That is C is equal to PTR by 100. Finally, again print of C, stop. So this is the algorithm. So once we can understand the concept of algorithm, in the upcoming chapters programming chapters, it is very easy to write the program. In the programming means it is not a big one. So it is a very simple. If you know the basic mathematics, then it is easy for you. Only addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, greater than, less than symbols. Other than nothing is there in the programming language. Okay, so you can consider another one. So area of triangle. So in the area of triangle, the formula is half into base into height. Area of triangle, that is half into base into height. See here the number of inputs are 2, that is b and h. So it is not an input value because it is a constant value. If you are taking the input as a 1/2 means, suppose by mistake if I enter the instead of 1/2 I can enter a different one, means it is not an area of triangle. So that's why constant's value can be directly mentioned in the third step. Okay, see here input b comma h. So why we have to use the comma means to separate the variables, to separate the characters. So here b is different and h is different. So next c is equal to half into base into height. Or otherwise you can use multiplication. And finally print of C, and finally print stop. There are n number of algorithms are there. Okay, so you can solve the, you can try some example, that is area of a circle, circumference of a circle, circumference of circle, area of a rectangle, average of 3 subject marks, 3 subject marks. So you can try 4 examples, then only you will get the complete idea about the algorithms. And these examples are simple. Even some complex examples will be there in the algorithms. I will tell you. Okay. So now we have to start the different algorithm, that is largest of 2 numbers. Largest of 2 numbers means here the number of inputs are again 2, that is step 2, input a comma b. Here there is no computation, only comparisons will be there. If I give the input value as 10 and 20, the computer should display the 20 is the largest or b is the largest. That's why. So that's why we have to use the one condition, that is if condition. If, small letter. Here if is a one type of condition, it is used to compare the value, it is used to test the value. So in the step 3, see here, if bracket a is greater than b. If you want to compare any value, you can use the if condition. If a is greater than b, go to step 4. Otherwise, else, step 5. See here, if the condition is correct, then it will go to the step 4. In the step 4, we have to write print a is large. In the step 5, print b is large. Finally stop. See here, I can give input value as 120. 100 is greater than 20. Condition is correct. If it is correct means go to the step 4, means automatically the control will come to the step 4 and it will print the a is large. Suppose if I give 100 and 200, condition is false. False means else will be executed. Else means false block statement. else step 5. Step 5 means print B is large. So when we have to use the if condition means if you are comparing the value, see here A and B, your comparison will be there. That's why we have to use the if condition. So this is the another example of algorithm that is important. So another example, to check whether the given number is positive or negative. Positive or negative. See here, positive or negative means here the input is only one. Because if I give the input value, any one input value, either you have to enter positive or either you have to enter negative value, that is not a matter. But whatever you can enter the value, the computer will decide whether it is that number is a positive number or that number is a negative number. It should display the message to the user. So positive and negative, in between 0 is there. Okay. So whatever you can give the input value that is compared with 0, it means that here the number of input is only one A. A is greater than 0. See here, if A is greater than 0 means go to the step 4. In the step 4, so what we have to print? A is positive. Else step 5, if the number is not positive means obviously it is a negative number. And one more thing is there, suppose if you are giving the input value as a 0, but 0 is considered as a neither positive nor negative, but that time it will not work. It should display the A is negative. Then how to print the neither positive nor negative? So we can use the another one. It is not suitable for this if condition. We can use a double if condition. So we will discuss in further classes, the next upcoming classes. Okay. So now we have to discuss only two conditions. That is, first one is true, false. True, false, like that. Okay. Another one is to check whether the person is eligible for voting or not. So usually voting power will come 18 or greater than 18. Okay, here the number of input is only one, that is the person age. That is, you can consider input of age or input of A. So only you have to change is A is greater than or equal to 18. Even all examples are similar. First we have to analyze the problem. What actually the problem is there, and how many values I have to given to the system. For calculation or for comparison purpose, what I have to write, that is the main important. Step 2 and step 3 are main important, because the remaining steps are only printing and stop. That is not a matter. Okay, so here age is greater than or equal to 18, the person is eligible, otherwise the person is not eligible for the voting. Okay. In the next class, so we will discuss the flowchart. So based on the algorithms, so we have to draw the flowchart. So here flowchart indicates the diagrammatic representation of algorithm. So whatever the algorithms will be solved, so that can be represented with some diagrams. That is nothing but the flowchart. And what are the advantages of algorithms and what are the advantages of flowcharts, we will discuss in the next class.